Hi, everybody. Tonight we're going to talk about dating after narcissistic abuse.
How do you choose a date? Whose company would you enjoy?
Now, I know some of you right now are saying, Kevin, dating is the last thing on my mind, and I get that, especially coming out of a toxic relationship. Yet some of you still are thinking, I want to ease back into the dating world at some point, but I don't want to make the same mistakes again.
Ian? Well, how about a date? Well...
Really? No thanks, Woody.
And by the way, viewer discretion is advised because tonight we're going to be doing some adulting. My name is Kevin, and this is The Royal We. Now, before we talk about dating after narcissistic abuse, I want to let you know that I'm here for your support. Down in the description box below this message, you'll find access to my calendar where you can schedule some one-on-one time with me, and I look forward to talking with you. So what does the future of dating look like for you coming out of a toxic relationship now that you've experienced narcissistic abuse? Your whole view of dating and people and relationships has crumbled. Well, first and foremost, let's just say this. Dating now probably sucks.
This is your heart, single, happy, and optimistic. Now watch closely what happens when you try and get into a relationship.
I made a TikTok about how I think all men are like trash these days, and
getting back on the dating market, I've realized dating sucks.
So this week's topic is why dating is the worst.
The dating market right now is a hot mess.
Somebody please explain to me what's going on with modern dating because I can't handle it anymore. I can't.
And I can't imagine it's going to be any better in the future. As a matter of fact, something tells me it's all going to be virtual. It's going to be in Facebook's metaverse, right? Y'all are going to have Oculus goggles on, and it's going to look like that scene in Demolition Man.
I was wondering if you would like to have sex.
How many of you have seen that movie? They're sitting in a spa with their virtual reality headgear, and they're having some kind of a mind sexual encounter.
What's wrong? He broke contact.
Contact? I didn't touch you yet.
But I thought you wanted to make love.
Is that what you call this?
Okay. But we want to talk about the real world of dating, right? We'll wait to see what happens with metaverse stuff in the future. In the real world of dating, the first thing that you most likely are going to want to do is look at what failed about dating in the past. What did you experience that led to narcissistic abuse? I think we have to consider the relationship that we were in, why we were in the relationship. We have to consider it all a part of something that failed, a part of narratives that we've accepted in our lives about relationships and dating that failed us. You have to understand these things so that these things aren't repeated. So what are some of the common narratives, the common failures? Well, how about the idea that you were dating in the past probably because you felt like you needed another person in your life to complete you? How many of you just felt that way? You grew up, you were raised thinking that you needed a relationship. This need is more than just I need a relationship. It's I'm not complete without it. Well, this is problematic. First of all, it's not true. All right? Nobody needs another person in this life to complete them. I mean, really, if you think about it, if somebody is needed to complete you in this life, well, listen, anything can happen to that person. They can run off with somebody else. They can die. And then what? You're back at square one? Incomplete? One of the basic and most profound messages that we get from the ancient literature of the Bible is that the person, the individual, which was made first, was made in the image and likeness of God, according to the ancient understanding. This is how they understand the individual. Complete. We're made complete. All right? We really don't need, out of desperateness, another person. Now, don't get me wrong. We have lots of needs and wants and desires and, ooh, me likey, me want. But we don't need it for completion. There is a difference. The second reason, typically people get in relationships because they're horny. Listen, no shame. All right, I get it. Listen, it's a thing. Being horny, it's a thing, right? I mean, even Paul in the New Testament of the Bible addressed this to the whole church. He said, hey, Y'all, listen, if it were up to me, none of you would be in relationships and getting married and stuff because it's difficult to serve both God and another person at the same time. But because you can't control your fire and your nether regions, then you ought to find a partner, someone to help you out with that. Make that your wife, make that your husband, and satisfy that need. That way you're not out spreading diseases or whatnot, right? So that's another reason. So no shame. If you're a hornball, more power to you. Tame it. Tame that beast, at least until you know who and what you're dealing with, right? Ideally, you hold on to that until marriage. I know, it's suffering, it sucks, but it'll save you a lot of heartache. Promise you, all right? There's other ways you can manage it. The third reason that possibly people get involved in relationships is because of pressure, outside pressure. Your mom wants grandbabies. Your dad, they're pressuring you. We want grandkids. When are you gonna get married? Blah, 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 blah. Now your friends are getting married, right? And all this pressure on you. Listen, well, at that point, if that was the reason you were getting in relationships, well, now you're just living life for other people instead of for yourself. No wonder that failed too, because your heart's not even really in it. You're doing it to fit the status quo, trying to meet your quota, instead of doing something you want, right? So now let's talk about what you can do. Let's talk about your future of dating now. The first step that you should take in dating for your future, I'm going to talk about the first person you need to date. You need to date yourself. That's weird. No, it's not. You need to date yourself. Self-love, baby. Just buy yourself a dress, go out, look sharp. If you're a guy, whatever, suit up. Date yourself, man. Get to know yourself. Love on yourself. Have some champagne, have a drink, get to know yourself. Date yourself to the point of really knowing who you are. You've got to know who you are because this will get rid of your need to find completion outside of yourself. This will tell you exactly what type of sexual being you are. This will help you to better understand that you don't need to live your life according to what your mommy and your daddy and your friends are doing. This is where you get to know yourself. A lot of relationships in the past that we are in fail because we don't know ourselves going into them. We don't know what our direction in life is, where we're going, what we want out of life, and we think that someone else coming into our life is going to give all that to us. No, we have to know who we are first, which takes a lot of dating ourselves, getting to know ourselves. This is the most important piece because it's only when we truly know ourselves that we can then find ourselves on a path and then recognize who's on a similar path. Not only that, we can devise tests for people to see who's going to be good for us. One of the stories in the Bible that I like is when Isaac's father, Abraham, was looking for a wife for Isaac. He sent men out and they prayed to find Isaac a wife. Many of you have done that. I've heard this. I'm waiting for God to drop a partner in my lap. It's not going to work like that. But if you work with God by knowing yourself, then you can devise a plan. This is what the plan looked like according to finding a wife for Isaac in the Bible. They said, listen, whatever woman, the woman, when we come into this territory, the woman that comes out, meets us, gives us water to drink, gives our flock water to drink, right? They had a test. Why were they testing? We want someone responsible. She has to be kind. She has to be good-natured. She has to be ready and willing to be helpful, right, in this situation. That was the test, and boom, they found her. God said, you have a test, good idea, boom, there she is right there. That's what it looks like when God brings somebody into your life. You have to first know what you want. So you're not going to know what you want until you first know who you are. You're satisfied with your life path, where you're going, your plans, your purpose. And when you're satisfied with this, train yourself to be attracted to somebody who is going to come alongside you on your path in life. All right? And as I said earlier, if you're focused on your path in life, it's going to be easier to see as you have people gathered around you. You will, listen, if you find your purpose and your path in this life, you're going to have people gravitating towards you. You're going to see who's alongside you, who's supportive, who's not. Let's talk real quick about some practical dating tips, dating applications, right? Because when you get to the point of actually going out with people, you're going to run into some issues. We're all people, especially for you hornballs out there that are burning in the nether regions, right? You're going to have these temptations and these moments where narcissistic individuals are going to reveal themselves to you. Why? Because narcissistic individuals that you come across are really only after supply. So they're going to be the people that are swinging in hot and heavy on that first date. They're like, 3 dates in, I better be able to get your pants off. Let's do this thing. 3 dates in? Why? Why do you want to do that 3 dates in? We don't even know each other. Because it's supply. It feels good. That's really what we're doing. That's what this is all about. It's feeling good, right? Come on. We're not spring chicken. We're not young anymore. Let's just feel good, baby. Let's make each other feel good. Well, listen, you can rule them people out right away. Why? Because they're telling you who they are. They're just after the supply. They're just after the feel good. So you need to do your best to tame that and say, no, we're not doing that. We just met, right? And now some of you might say, yeah, but Kevin, I'm never going to meet anybody then because everybody needs some physical attention and you can make up any lame excuse you want to. Just keep turning them out. If that's all they want, kick them out. Because what is going to happen, it's inevitable. If that's all they're trying to do is get in your pants, whether you are a guy or a girl, that's just telling you it's going to be a temporary relationship. They just want that and they're out. You're going to be heartbroken later on. So you might as well deal with the heartbreak of saying, goodbye. I was hopeful in you because you got nice greasy hair, but now, doggone it, man. You got to go. Or tell them, slow down and let them respond. And if they're still with you, still friends, still hanging out, still going in the same direction, month after month after month, well, then you potentially got a good mate there, right? Now, I'm going to give you all a little secret, women in particularly, because typically men happen to be the sexual aggressors during dating. And there's a lot of reasons for that, by the way. Yes, men are just horny. We got this stuff called testosterone and whatever. I don't know the exact biology of it, but it's pretty ridiculous. It's very hard not to see a woman, the curves of a woman, and just be like, we get in trouble for it all the time. That's why guys are called pigs and this and that, and women hate it, whatever. It is what it is. Understanding this, though, women, I want to tell you something, that for men don't often understand the biology behind their needs and their wants. It's easier for them to gravitate towards being sexual real fast when really the sexuality is really, it's about a lot more. It's not just about the act of having sex. For a guy, there's a lot wrapped up into that. For a guy, manhood is wrapped up into that for some weird reason. Them feeling attractive is wrapped up in that. Them feeling wanted is wrapped up in that. Them feeling like they have attention is wrapped up in that. So if you women understand this aspect of men, you'll be able to use this, some tips I'm going to give you here without actually getting physically sexual with them to do that. You can soothe them with your voice. Seriously. You can tell them, listen, I'm very attracted to you. You're very attractive. You're very strong, from what I can see. I'm very into you. You can really just with your, women don't know the power of just their words sometimes. It's enough. It is enough. And if you can do this, you can tame that desire in a man to need to get the pants down right away, at least long enough. Hold that off. And you can keep doing that. And you can learn over time how to nurture a man without giving him sex. And if you can find that way of doing that, then the rest is cake, right? Then down the road, you get married. Then you introduce the sex into it. And then it's just, wow, right? Now you know two ways to, a lot of different ways in which to nurture and keep a man. As far as tips for you men with women, I don't really know. I don't know because I'm not a woman. So maybe some of you women can comment. Put your secrets down in the comment section of this video of ways in which men can nurture you non-sexually or, keep you feeling good long enough to continue to get to know the person. So again, these are practical tips that will help you to eventually learn about who you're with. What are they really like? And you really need to find out what these people are like, okay? A lot of people say, I don't want to interview a person. I don't want to date somebody. I don't want them to feel like it's a job interview. And my response is, why not? Do you have any idea what employers do before they hire a person? Background checks and all kinds of craziness, right? And why? All they're doing is giving them a paycheck. Listen, personally, I think you and your body and your house and your kids and whatnot, your family is more important than a paycheck. I think you should make that more difficult to get, even if it means background checks and whatnot. You know what I mean? Take dating seriously. Take it seriously. But you can't take dating seriously until you first know yourself, who you are. I hope that this helps. I'm interested to see your comments down below. I'm anxious to hear what you all think about dating. And I'll be back with more videos for you. By the way, I am here for your support. Down in the description box is where you'll find access to my calendar for one-on-one appointments, phone calls, FaceTime, WhatsApp video calls, text message consultations. It's all down there for you. And I'll be back with more videos for you right here on The Royal We.